All right, guys, how's it going? This should take about a half an hour. It's a combination of a little bit of stuff that is important in terms of logistics and information that your parents will want to know about, and then some kind of like general notes on the lacrosse things that we'll be trying to do as a team out there in a couple of weeks in California. Okay. Whole thing should take about a half an hour from having just done this with the 29s. And if you have questions as we're going through, feel free to raise a hand or to throw them in the chat, and I will do my best to get them answered for you. Okay. Um, for those of you who I have not had the opportunity to meet in person before, my name's David Sanford. I run the True West All Region program for True Lacrosse. I'm also the senior director of the Oregon program, the general manager of the Timber Kings box program, and the head coach of the 2027 white team. I grew up in Baltimore, Maryland. Started playing in about third grade because I was playing baseball before that and I wasn't very good at it. And I'm not going to tell you guys what year that was. I work on a lot of the Western all region stuff with PJ Martin. Those of you from Utah, I'm sure know who I'm talking about. Hopefully, some of the other guys have met him as well. PJ is the VP of True of the all the Western states in True, kind of oversees all of the programming for what we do, and is also a really big voice in Utah. And I think had a great weekend coaching up some of the younger Utah teams this past weekend at their first tournament. And then the other folks in involved in the operations of the West program. Drew Lazar, who's the senior director of Colorado, Logan Ball from Idaho, Tyler Lewis from Washington, Gonzalo Guerrero from Arizona, and Kyle Saggio from Texas. And so one of the things about our region that I think is really cool, it covers so much geography, and so it gives you an opportunity to meet kids from literally all over the western part of the country. Um, okay. Your coaching staff for the 2032s for this event will be your two primary coaches will be Andrew McGann and Rick Maxa. Andrew, both of them are currently coaching with the Oregon program. Andrew McGann was a three-time All-American defenseman at Gettysburg. He was also an NCAA Division III Defenseman of the Year. Rick Maxa is from upstate New York. He comes from a multi-generational lacrosse family up there. I had a really fun experience. He played college lacrosse in a small Division III school, SUNY school called Corning. And this was a pretty fun story. I was in Philadelphia coaching the 2027 All-Region team this summer, and we were playing against a team from his town, and the coach was an older gentleman. And so I asked him if he knew Coach Matza, and he turned out to be that he had been his high school coach and knew his whole family. It was pretty great small world kind of story. But those guys are great. They both spent a lot of time coaching young kids and are super excited to get after it with you. I think they both have prior commitments and are unfortunately not on this call. They'll be supported by Drew Lazar, who is the senior director from Colorado. He's the head coach on the 2030 team. Has been with True for over 5 years, and will be there to lend some support from those guys, make sure that you guys have everything you need, and hopefully I will be on your sidelines for a bunch of games as well. In terms of your event details, we're going to have practice on Friday from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. At the Silver Lakes Equestrian Sports Park, which is where the tournament is located. And this place is really cool. It's very similar to the Polo Grounds where Sandstorm happens, but it's about a quarter of the size. So a lot more manageable. The fields are beautiful. It's a really nice location. Our practice will be from 3 to 5. We could not get a practice field with lights. We need to practice before sundown. So my ask for you guys is if you can just make sure that your parents mark Team Snap appropriately if you're going to be able to get to that practice in time. If you're getting in before then, we want to know if you're going to miss that practice, it's totally okay. Just make sure you're there an hour early on Saturday, and we're going to talk through and walk through everything so that make sure that everybody is prepared. Okay. Little bit of logistics. For our uniforms, we like when we get to the Florida tournament in January, we're getting all brand new uniforms, an entirely different look from how things have looked in the past. So we are going to be wearing our black and white practice jerseys at this event. So what I need from you guys is either in Team Snap to enter the numbers on your practice jerseys, or if you want to throw them in the chat for this meeting, I will then put them into Team Snap for you. But I need to get those numbers because it will help the coaches get a handle on everybody's names super quickly. So if you guys can help me out with that, I would appreciate it. And then we want to wear black shorts, ideally like your true state team shorts, and white undershirts to go along with those reversibles. For communications, everything will go through Team Snap. Um, for social media, we don't have a social media account for the all region programs at True. I'm not exactly sure why, but it's intentional that we don't. So if your parents get clips of you doing great things and you want to get them out there on the internet, please tag your state programs and Oregon True Lacrosse as collaborators on the posts. Um, and I run that Oregon True Lacrosse account, and I promise that I will blow up the internet with all of the cool things that you do if your parents send me the clips. Um, in terms of the expectations of your parents, like there's none of them are on here, so I think that we're just kind of going to blow through this, but really great for great for them to be able to organize team dinners for you guys. Those are always super fun, right? When we get to do that on Saturday nights. Um, be supportive of the team, let the coaches do their thing. And if they have any problems on game day or whatever, like they should just text me. I will get back to them as quickly as I can. It may not be immediately because I may be coaching a game, but we don't want them to like take the coach's focus off of what they're doing. If they have any issues, just tell them to contact me. Um, Rosters and playing time, another thing we want to go over for you guys, just to make sure that everyone is on the same page. The way that people get on this team is we have meetings with all of the guys from around the Western states, all the senior directors who I had mentioned to you earlier. Kai, yes, that's the practice jerseys is what I mean in terms of that's what we're going to wear. So, like what Ryder is wearing right now is what we're going to wear, but we're going to wear it with a white shirt underneath because the orange doesn't really match that well, to be honest, right? Um, but anyway, getting back to it, so it's important for you guys to know that the reason you're here is because your state directors thought highly of you. They thought you would be a great addition to this team. And recommended you for it, and then we invited them, and your parents supported your opportunity to come play here. So make sure you say thank you to your parents, right? Because this is another great thing they're going out of their way to do for you to get you to these places to play in these games. Every player is expected to contribute to their team and will have the opportunity to do so. Um, everyone should expect to have ample playing time on Saturday, and our goal on Saturday is to make the playoffs. If we win every game, that's great. We really want to learn who we are as a team, learn how we play together, make sure that we're in the playoff dance. We know that when we get to the playoffs and these kind of things, the difference between being the number two, three seed and the number three seed doesn't really mean that much, right? So our goal is to just make sure that we get in the playoffs and make sure that we figure out how we're going to be the best team that we can be. And then performance on Saturday dictates playing time on Sunday. And the coach's objective on Sundays is we're playing to win, right? So, obviously, like in a perfect world, like everyone contributes the same, everybody, has roughly the same amount of playing time. It's all awesome that way. It doesn't always work out that way, right? So, um, the most important thing for you guys on Saturday, make sure you're listening to your coaches, make sure you make great eye contact when they're talking and that you're not talking when they're talking, right? And then when you're out there on the field, just, all the effort that you can put forward to help the team. We want to share the ball. We want to keep the ball moving in the air. We want to move it when slides come. You're doing those things, you're going to be really happy with your playing time. If you're making selfish choices and you're not hustling, it's going to reflect in your playing time on Sunday. So that part of that experience, is really, really something that's up to you. Um, in terms of like the general standards, like we want to arrive an hour before the first game on Saturday, again, so we can just talk through and review everything. We want to play a team-focused brand of lacrosse. So again, assisted goals, team defense, ball movement on clears, all that kind of stuff. We want to work hard and have fun and outwork our opponent in every game. We want to commit to two-handed ground balls and to doing things in a fundamentally appropriate way, right? And the thing that's most important is you want to embrace learning from new coaches and making friends, and being part of something that's bigger than your local program. And for those of you who, some of you I know have been on teams like this before. For those of you that haven't, when you come home and you've got buddies that you're playing, Xbox with, a guy from Texas and a guy from Oregon and a guy from Colorado all at the same time because you've made new friends and you're keeping in touch that way. It's really cool. And then like you begin to build those relationships now. You guys go through so much stuff together through, your years and years and years of playing lacrosse together. Um, it's really, really, maybe those friendships I think are a really big part of this. There'll be some sort of team dinner probably on Saturday night. And even if you're tired, I encourage you to go, because again, it's like a big part of the experience and really helps you kind of like make friends. The more new friends you make, the more fun you're gonna have when you go to Florida too. So it's kind of important. So, things to kind of just remember from that portion of the program, right? Our objective, have a great experience playing great lacrosse with great people. Like that's what we're going to California to do specifically. The only thing anybody will remember about you after this event is how you make them feel, right? Are you a great teammate? Do you have an extra, do you have an extra snack bar for somebody who needs them? Do you have a screwdriver in your bag to help a teammate who's got stick trouble? Are you supportive when somebody's having a tough time? These are the things that people remember. So they're super important, right? And then the other thing, is just don't let the wins go to your head. Don't let the losses go to your heart, right? We are always learning in every game. We're getting better every time we go on the field. We're always humble. We're always working hard. Like we're never as high as we think we are when we're winning. We're never as low as we think we are when we're losing, right? You got to just ride the wave. All right. You guys ready to talk about some lacrosse now?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so some standards and terms in terms of how we're going to play offense, right? Um, and so I'm going to just skip ahead. I'm going to skip ahead and I'm going to come back to this, right? So, um, a couple of spots on the field for offense that I want you guys to understand. This red line, going down the middle of the field vertically, we call the equator, okay? And so ideally, we want the ball to cross the equator every 9 seconds or so. And so, we're getting a dodge on one side. Maybe we're not getting anything and we're moving it to the other side. Maybe we're drawing a slide and we're moving it to the other side. Situations might be different, but we want to tire out the other team's defense by making them work hard to get out to the ball and then back into the hole. And so we want the ball ideally to cross the equator every 9 seconds. Okay. Um, the other line on the field, the black line, we call the hard deck, right? And so the hard deck is a line 7 yards above goal line extended. And so when we're initiating from the wings or if we're dodging from X, we really want to try to get to that line as opposed to initiating, just right off of goal line extended or just if we're dodging from X, trying to shoot right at goal line extended. Can anybody tell me why? So when we're going from that spot, we have the opportunity to try to either get over our defender or get under our defender and still have space to shoot the ball. You guys see how that can happen? Whereas if we're right on goal line extended, we really only can go in one direction and we're easier to defend. So that's kind of the objective, in terms of initiating from that spot. And so you might hear a coach yelling, 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 get to the hard deck. And so that's what they mean. The blue circle in front of the cage is something we're going to call Grandma's Kitchen, right? And so we sneak into Grandma's kitchen the same way we sneak in the middle. Like you sneak into Grandma's kitchen, still a cookie, same way that we're sneaking in the middle and the defense isn't looking at us, right? We're cutting through, we're hoping to get the ball, quick shot, we're getting out. We don't want to stop in Grandma's kitchen because we don't want to get caught there. Okay, so it's important to realize Ryder can't see the slides. Can anybody else not see the slides?
I can see the slides.
What do you see, Ryder?
I can see them.
I literally don't see anything.
Is it black?
I
That's so
mean,
weird.
I see the coaches, but that's all I see.
Oh, move to the next slide.
Oh,
Oh,
You should see what I'm showing. Like, so do you see the shape? Do you see it changing?
I didn't know I had to change it. Okay.
We good?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna send this out, so you're all gonna have it too. Um, okay. So then the other thing just on those basic principles are we always like I'm not so worried, especially at your age. Like we're not super worried in terms of like memorizing set plays. But we want to make sure that we're sticking to a few principles. And so those principles involve how we space the field, where one of the things is that we always want to make sure that we have someone in position to back up shots, right? If when we're going to lose the ball, we want to make the other team like earn the ball back from us. We don't want to give it to them because our spacing was bad. And in terms of what the off-ball players are doing, we want to make sure that the guy with the ball has an outlet pass that he can throw in front of him, behind him, in the middle of the field, so inside where someone is going through grandma's kitchen, and that somebody is hunting a skip lane on the backside. What's important is to make sure when you don't have the ball that you are presenting one of those options for the guy who does have the ball, and that we're moving the whole time so that when the ball comes to us, we're ready. All right, so now just kind of going back to those standard in terms after we look at what the field looks like, we want to cross the equator every 9 or 10 seconds. We want the ball not to be in our stick for more than 2 seconds if we're not dodging. So if we're catching it, and I'm the smallest guy on the team, which when I was playing, I generally always was. I was that little shifty attackman who got beat up all the time. And if I'm guarded by the giant defender who I don't want to dodge, I'm catching it. I know what I'm doing. I'm looking inside. I'm moving it to the next guy, like 2 seconds in and out of my stick. We're making great passes to our teammates on their outside shoulder so that It's easy for them to catch them in stride and then, attack their defender or make the next play. Um, we want to make sure, like, after a ground ball in the offensive end, we want to get that ball up off the ground and we want to move it quickly, right? Because if there's four guys fighting for a ground ball in the lefty alley, there's going to be a lot of space in the righty alley where we can attack if we can get the ball there quickly, right? And we want to make sure that we're earning quality shots. So what we want to avoid is um, the situation where we're taking a shot immediately when we get to offense and it's from pretty far away or it's from a pretty bad angle, right? We want to earn really good shots. And we're going to talk about what really good shots are in just a second here. Um, the other terms that I just want you to kind of use, and this is sort of like how you communicate with each other on the field, are three words that you're going to use to communicate, to the player who's adjacent to you or the player who's in a pair with you, right? And so that's flyby, match, and pepper. Flyby means that you want the other player to clear through for you. You just want to take your guy one-on-one. You think you're going to win your matchup. Um, Match means that you want to play a two-man game with them, that you want them to mirror what you're doing as ball carrier. Okay. And pepper means you want them to stick a hard pick, right? And so picks are great to set when the off-ball guy is guarded by a short stick. If the off-ball guy is guarded by a pole, we generally don't want to set a hard pick because it kind of can lead to opportunities for other teams to double team the ball, and we want to not give them those opportunities. Okay. In terms of the shooting chart that we were or earning great shots that we were talking about, we want to look at our shooting chart, right? And so do you guys think we're scoring more goals from the one spot, the two spot, the three, or the three spot?
One.
Yep. And so reason for that, one, we're closer, obviously, and two, like we have a much greater angle, to shoot at a larger portion of the goal than if we're dodging down the alley, like as we start our offense. And so it's important to realize in our offense, we want to dodge hard, we want to draw slides, we want to move the ball until we earn a great shot, ideally in the one area and maybe in the two area for the right guy. And that if you're like the first dodge in an offensive set, and you end up going down the alley and you're in the three zone, you want to look to pass the ball forward. Like that's really going to be the objective that's going to help the team achieve what it wants to achieve. The defenders will also really appreciate you a lot more for doing that because in situations where the other team plays offense for 3 minutes and the defense is super tired, and then somebody kind of takes a so-so shot really early in possession, and then the goalie catches it, and we have to play defense for another 3 minutes. Is our defense happy there? Not really so much, right? So we want to make sure that we're making good choices there. Okay. Um, I want you guys, once you get this sent out to you, to watch this video. This is a video of our flyer motion offense, right? Which is a principle-based offense, again, where we're looking for the off-ball players to be working in pairs, to make sure that the guy with the ball always has a pass forward, a pass back, a pass inside, and a through pass. Um, and so you've got schematics here of what that looks like, dodging from the high wings, right? And dodging from X, like, so you can kind of see what it looks like if we're going over the top in one picture, if we're going down the side in the other picture. Um, you guys, everybody practices some variation of this in your practices. At your age, we're not going to do it with the complexity that we're going to do it with some of the older kids. But we want you guys to be able to like get into these shapes. For one of you guys, like for Rustin to feel empowered, like taking a dodge from that high wing corner and telling whoever his pair is to fly by and, attacking his matchup. We want you guys to be able to have that on-field communication with each other. So that's kind of the level that we're hoping you guys will get into this. We also have a couple of set pieces that I know Utah guys have seen these before. I'm not sure I know Colorado guys have also seen these before. I'm not sure about the other states. But Duke and Virginia are just like a real basic alley dodge and a sweep dodge. Um, an invert at your age, we probably won't do a ton. But this stuff will get walked through in the practice and talked through ahead of time. Um, but watch the video, try to understand the principles. That's really more what's important than memorizing plays at your age. Okay. Any questions on offense before I go to defense? Okay, cool. Defensively, we want to play aggressively. We want to get to hands on our ball carriers. We want to get our sticks in the passing lanes. We want to have great communication. That's really like the most important part, right? And we want to not be afraid to get up and out and push transition and have our poles cross the midfield line, and try to be a great part of our offense. The four terms we want to make sure that everybody understands and uses are green and white to help us understand if we're going to be sliding from the crease or if we're going to be sliding adjacent. Okay. And the other ones are alert and alone. Okay. If you hear alert means we're ready to slide and we think this is a matchup that we're going to need to slide to. So basically, if they're when they're dodging against our short sticks, we generally want to be alert, right? We want to be ready to support those guys. When their attack when we have one of their attackmen dodging against one of our poles who when we think it's a better matchup or we can take the ball away, we might be staying alone. And so that alone call means we're shutting off the adjacent passes, and we're putting that defender in a position to try to make a possession ending play and take the ball away. Make sense? Okay.
Yeah.
But so that communication, is something that every time the ball moves, like, we should hear green alert or white alone. And then those simple cues should help everybody understand like where they need to be and what they need to do. Um, for our clear, we're going to run a diamond clear. And so you can see the shape of it on the screen. We want to try to have our midfielders as the base of the diamond and the corner opposite the substitution box. And so ideally, this ball is going from the goalie to M2 to M1, and we're getting out real quick and easy. And if we don't get out quick and easy, he's going to pass it to the low defenseman. They're going to walk it up. We're going to try and create a 2-on-1 somewhere, right? The LSMs here are clear to go over the midfield line, and get into that early part of offense. And then on a ride, we were gonna operate in what we call a zero ride. And so what this means is everybody's going to drop back. Our attackmen are going to drop back. Um, our midfielders are going to drop back into sort of like a matchup zone, and they're going to make sure that within their area, no one is getting behind them. Okay, so that we're trying to slow the other teams down as much as we can. While this is happening, we want our defensemen to cover their attackmen all over the field so that they can't get the ball. Okay. Um, and ideally, we're gonna trap the other team somewhere in the middle of the field and create a turnover. But we don't want to get chasing too far, too low because it opens up too much of the field to give up transition. And we feel if we limit transition, we'll be in a pretty good position and do pretty well. Okay. And then again, like things to remember, like just refreshing from what we talked about before, our objective, right? great experience playing lacrosse with great people. Um, the only thing anybody will remember about you is how you make them feel. So you want to make sure that, everybody's going out of their way and above and beyond to be a great teammate. And don't let the wins go to your head. Don't let the losses go to your heart, right? Saturday is we win enough to get into the playoffs, hopefully. We figure ourselves out as a team, and then Sundays, we get the great opportunity to compete for a championship. Like that's kind of what our objective is. We do have a second event coming up after this, a couple months later, where we will compete against all region teams from the other parts of the country, which is super fun, like bit of like a rivalry kind of thing between the different areas. And so that's really the place where we feel like we get the most, sort of like the most consistent competition in terms of like what our all region teams are when we play against the other ones. So it's, that's really sort of like the culmination of this experience. And then the other thing that you guys should just know at that tournament, our national team directors watch all of you guys, and they're looking for players to put on national teams. So for those of you guys who are interested in that, like this is part of the pathway to get to that spot. Um, cool. And that is the end of our presentation. Do you guys have any questions? Can you guys tell me honestly if kind of going through some of this stuff offensively and defensively um quickly, does this kind of stuff make sense to you guys, or does it just kind of seem like a lot?
It makes
Yeah,
sense.
makes sense.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think that the thing that's just most important, and especially with the guys who are coaching you, if there's stuff that doesn't make sense, like like both of the guys who are the main coaches on your team, like have years and years and years of coaching experience, have coached really basic teams and super high level teams. They both have kids who are currently playing. So they also are very good at speaking to kids your age in ways that you can understand. So if there's something that doesn't make sense, I want to make sure you guys feel 1,000% comfortable going and asking questions. Um, what I want to make sure you guys don't have is the kind of experience where like a coach is like saying a bunch of stuff, no one knows what he's talking about, and everyone just kind of nods and then just goes and tries to figure it out. Like make sure you're asking questions. Like these guys are really like committed coaches and really focused on you guys getting better and having a great experience this weekend. Cool.
Yes.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Anybody have any other questions? Okay, great. So I will send this stuff out tonight or tomorrow. Again, like just make sure you watch the offense videos and review all the schematics and stuff. Reach out with any questions. And then the things that we need from you guys, again, just the reversible jersey numbers, either in Team Snap or in the chat. And I'll leave the chat on for a few minutes if any of you guys need to go check. But that will definitely just kind of help me with getting the best rosters together for the coaches. And then make sure that you have your parents mark your availability if you're going to be at the practice or not, just so we can plan appropriately. Cool. And thanks for being here, guys. I super appreciate it. I know in some time zones it's getting a little late, so
Thank you.
uh, yeah, thanks
Uh,
again. And we're
Thank
here to
you.
help you guys have a great time, so don't hesitate to reach out for what you need.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Awesome. Have a great one, you guys.
You too.
Thanks,
Thank
Coach.
you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Put it in the chat very quick. Traffic videos.
Again.